And you'll see what we do. We have a regular routine, Adele, and we start just by talking about how our meditation has been since last we met. When we talk to you, I'll ask you about your background and why you want to join us. Then we do a 10-minute meditation. Then I talk about some subject that I think will be of use to you guys. And then we have a video from some other guy talking kind of about the same stuff, or a guided meditation or something. Then we have another meditation at the end. So what I try to do here is the thing that matters with meditation is being able to have a practice you can keep up. And so that's the orientation that I have here, and the thing I want to be able to encourage everybody to do. And one reason why this is particularly important for us, as in the age bracket that we are, is that a regular meditation practice actually builds up the brain and slows down this gradual shrinking of the brain that we have starting at the age of 60. And so meditation is about the only thing I know of that slows and even reverses the shrinking brain. And I think that's a big deal. So to be able to have a sustained practice, one part of it is you have to figure out how to make it a habit. Like you brush your teeth, you meditate, you have a regular time and place for it is what is best. Some people can't work that way, and they have to figure out how to do it otherwise in their life. I think Barley is a little bit like that.
Yeah, I thought I had figured out the best time, but then it was getting to be too late at night and I kept falling asleep. So then I've gradually done it earlier and even earlier. And I like it so much that I can drop into it kind of anytime. But I know I like the fact that, like, we always meet at 3:00 on Thursday. So I understand the value of the same time, but my life doesn't allow me to do it.
And now Doug is joining us from Mexico City. Hello, Doug.
Hello.
Hi, Doug, you're home.
Yes. Yes, I made it back in one piece, and
Very good.
here I am.
And Adele is joining us today. Adele is also a UU member.
Okay.
Hi,
Hi, Adele.
Hi,
And
Doug.
now that you're here, then we can get the show started. This is Mindfulness with Richard. I'm Richard Clarke, and welcome. This series focuses on mindfulness meditation. Listen, reflect, and deeply meditate. So let us start with you today, Adele. You're new with us. Can you tell us a little bit about your meditation background and why you're here today?
Okay, I'll do my best. If I get off track, just bring me back.
Okay.
I've been meditating, well, probably since my 18 years old, and through Catholicism, but a lot of it was prayer, not always real, what we consider mindfulness meditation. It was, taking a scripture passage or whatever and
Mhm.
reflecting on it. And it was a more mental type
Yes.
of activity. And
So it was
I-
reflection. You would take some passage and then reflect on it.
right. So it was kind of more of a mental
Right.
activity
Right.
than,
Well, the reflection is the middle part.
right,
Uh-huh.
right. Whereas what I'm still working on is quieting the mind
Yes.
and
I think
being,
we're all still working on it.
and being in the present moment
Yes.
and being fully, not just when I'm meditating, but attempting to be present with each activity that I do. But
Yes.
I do meditation every morning, and it's about about 40 minutes, but it's not totally mindfulness.
Uh-huh.
Once again, I will read something and then use that to reflect and then become quiet.
Uh-huh.
So it's sort of a process like that. I'm here today because my schedule has finally shifted, and I've said I wanted to join the Thursday meditation group, and now I am free.
Very good.
Yeah, and I'm very happy with the change in my work schedule, life schedule. So hopefully I will be able to continue being part of this meditation group because I do everything on my own. So it's really nice, I think, to have a meditation community support
Yes.
system.
Yes, to support each other.
Right. So that's, I guess
Very
that's it.
good. Very
Oh,
good.
thank you.
And your current goal of mindfulness all the time, every minute Zen is one of the things I've heard it called, is one of the kind of natural desires and abilities that ends up growing with the practice. And, there's no reason we can't be aware all the time, because we are aware all the time. This is what is going on with us as deeply as you can say. So some teachers say that being aware all the time is the natural state. So it's not something different than we are.
Mhm.
Anyway, welcome. And, I'm pleased to have you as a part of our little Zoom meditation community. Okay, Barley, how's your meditation been?
Well, I thought I already shared something. So
Okay, well,
I'll pass. Yeah, I'm keeping up.
good. How about you, Richard?
Been really wonderful to notice how when a thought comes up, it takes you away from that awareness.
Yes.
And then if you have that hook there for the next thought, then it really starts to take you away. So like when the first thought comes up, to come back to that awareness is what I'm noticing. And
Yes.
and the quiet, when the mind is more quiet, is just really blissful.
Yes. I've had the feeling of doing the same thing that you're talking about. And it's almost like you get a thought happens and you notice it and you dive back in. It's kind of like I felt like diving into a pool of water.
Yeah, yeah. And it's really very nice to have Adele join us. And when you mention, Adele, that you would meditate or pray on a certain scripture, my first spiritual teacher in 1996 was named Eknatheshwaran, and his form of meditation was to like meditate on a sacred passage. And the first passage you meditated on was the prayer of Saint Francis. And also Saint Teresa of Avila talks about that interior castle and praying in that way. So it's all part of what we're doing here, and it's wonderful to have you. I'm second to welcome you.
Thank you.
Richard, is that St. Francis of Assisi?
Correct.
Oh, good.
Also, the brain scientists who have been studying the minds of long-term meditators and seeing these changes that happen, they have looked at nuns who have spent their life in these reflective orders, who have done the same kind of thing that you're talking about, Adele, praying every day in this internal part of their process. And they found similar things in the brains of these people who maintained a long-term inner spiritual practice.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that, Richard, because I was a Roman Catholic nun for 23 years.
Okay.
And, yeah, from 18 till
Wow.
40.
Okay.
So now you know.
Okay. Well, it turns out that it is a great background.
Mhm. Mhm.
And because of that, your practice has been going on longer than most of ours. So anyway, I acknowledge you.
Mm.
Okay, Carol, how was your week?
It was fine. The meditations that I did were for the most part nice, and I was able to shut out the music from across the street. So it's good. Continues to be good.
Good. And how about you, Doug?
I've been having pretty good meditations. I've tried that walking meditation, and it's certainly a challenge because they're just the distractions
Mhm.
which bring
Right.
all these thoughts. But it's good practice of just letting the thoughts go. Whereas before, when I would get a thought or something and I would just dwell on it, like I would see someone
Yes.
and then I would judge them and think about them, and
Of course.
a
Yeah.
total waste of time. So I'm going to continue doing that.
Very good. And as you know, that's a practice I've been doing for 35 years. And
Uh-huh.
so I recommend it. Barley's doing it also now. So
Okay, well, good. Well, and I'd
good.
also like to welcome Adele. You know, when I was a kid, I spent a few years at a Catholic boarding school with mostly all nuns. And I've always felt great affection towards nuns ever since. Because there were some of them, not all of them, but there were some of them who were really nice, who were really good to me. So, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Doug.
Okay. Then let us go into our first meditation. And let me get a slide up. And mindfulness is present moment awareness, paying attention on purpose in the present moment,
Uh-oh.
non-judgmentally. Fully receive whatever is experienced, then let it go. Relax. Look for joy in the moment. Let experiences and thoughts come. Let them be. Let them go. And now we'll meditate. And as we enter into meditation, we'll use a gradual process, a 4-stage start to awareness of the feeling of your breath. This uses your attention, where you focus on the object of meditation, and also your peripheral awareness, your awareness outside the focus. This is also active. You first become present, then focus on body sensations, then breathing sensations, then the breath. Start by closing your eyes and taking a few moments to become fully present. Take in everything presented by your senses. Be present here and now. Your senses, body sensations, mental activity. Disregard any thought that does not have to do with the present moment. Once you have become fully present, limit your attention to body sensations. Let everything else slip into the background of peripheral awareness. Nothing should be suppressed from your field of conscious awareness. As you quietly observe body sensations, attention naturally moves to the movement of your breathing. Pay attention to breath-related sensations like the expansion and contraction of your chest as you breathe. Without restricting anything else in your field of conscious awareness, focus your attention to these breath-related sensations. And now focus attention on the breath sensations at your nose or in your belly. Find where this is the clearest. Don't follow the breath, but keep attention here. This is your primary meditation object. With your attention here, maintain peripheral awareness in the background. Nothing is excluded. All right. Now, today, I'll talk about non-striving, one of the essential attitudes of mindfulness. This is one of Jon Kabat-Zinn's 7 attitudes that form a foundation for mindfulness. These attitudes are non-judging, patience, beginner's mind, trust, non-striving, acceptance, and letting go. I've discussed non-judging, patience, trust, and a beginner's mind. This week is non-striving. Jon Kabat-Zinn says to actually be in a place where we just let things be as they are is tremendously nurturing and healing. Whatever's already here is good enough, even if it's not pleasant in this moment. It's good enough. We don't need to try to escape from it or fix it or make anything happen. The root of striving is desire. If we want something that is not here now, the I want or I don't want spirit comes into play. We evaluate our sensations and perceptions and wish for a return or the persistence of pleasant sensations or the end of unpleasant ones. In both cases, our longing makes us leave the present moment and its completeness. Anyone who's ever experienced deep and beautiful sensations in meditation can easily fall into the trap. I want to experience that again. And as soon as this thought arises, the state is destroyed and not available. The wish prevents us from being in the present moment with a patient, beginner's mind and free from judgment. Because wanting to go back there is not the same as being here, and it feels different. What does non-striving mean? It is the attitude of being rather than doing, one that embodies an openness to the present moment as it is, without seeking for things to be different or desiring to be some other place. Non-striving in mindfulness is about being here and now, without the anticipation of any future outcomes. In a culture like ours that values progress, non-striving can seem counterintuitive to success and well-being. We are constantly presented with information that suggests we need to be or do or achieve more. However, ancient cultures have long understood the beauty and power of presence, of being now. All we ever really have is this moment. Learning to be here and now goes against the grain of what we're taught. Yet it brings us right back to who and where we really are. Now, when we're practicing mindfulness, we might misunderstand what it means to non-strive. For instance, when we're in silent meditation and note that the mind is thinking about what it wants to achieve tomorrow or next year, our first response might be to try to force that thought away. The paradox with pushing these thoughts away is that we are striving for something different, perhaps perfection or escape. What we can practice instead, when we notice the mind wandering into thoughts about the future or escape, is to simply witness this tendency without applying positive or negative judgment. Instead, we can simply say, I see you, and then gently come back to this present moment as the seeking mind softens naturally. This doesn't mean we won't have goals or aspirations in life. The foundation of non-striving is simply an invitation to open ourselves up to where we are right now, to reconnect with this present moment with loving embrace. Another quote from Jon Kabat-Zinn: "You might be tempted to avoid the messiness of daily living for the tranquility of stillness and peacefulness. This, of course, would be an attachment to stillness, and like any strong attachment, it leads to delusion. It arrests development and short circuits the cultivation of wisdom." Non-striving in mindfulness and meditation is simply a practice of taking a moment's pause from our incessant activity, both internal and external. In mindfulness, when thoughts arise that say, "I wish things were different," we can hold even these with open, loving embrace. It doesn't mean we're saying, "I'm happy that things are the way they are." It's simply a return to presence, a return to the present moment. From this place of presence, we can move forward in the world and find the peace and joy that is always there. Now we have a video from Jon Kabat-Zinn, a short video on non-striving. Let me cue it up.
In the cultivation of meditative awareness or mindful awareness, we take the unusual position for Westerners to actually not try to get anywhere else. This is what we call non-striving or even non-doing, to actually allow things to be held in awareness without having to operate on them, without having to make anything happen or try to experience some special state of either relaxation or well-being or anything, but to simply be with the unfolding of life from moment to moment without any agenda whatsoever. It turns out this is tremendously healing, tremendously restorative for us too, because we have so many agendas and we're always on the way to some better moment in the future or trying to escape from something in the past. But to actually be in a place where we're practicing non-striving and non-doing, where we just let things be as they are, is, as I said, tremendously nurturing and healing. Not easy to do because we have so many different, so many different items on our to-do list. So the longer your to-do list, the longer we should give ourselves some time to practice non-doing altogether and non-striving, realizing that whatever is already here is good enough. Even if it's not pleasant in this moment, it's enough. And we don't need to try to escape from it or fix it or make anything happen. It's a tremendous discipline, a tremendous attitude to bring to life. And it doesn't mean you won't get things done. On the contrary, it means that whatever doing you do will wind up coming out of being, and therefore much greater wisdom and much greater appropriateness to the situation.
And now we will have some more meditation. And during this meditation, pay particular attention to the instant where your breath starts to come in after you have finished the exhale. Each breath, feel this instant where there is the start of the in-breath. And if your mind wanders, then acknowledge yourself, give yourself credit for noticing that the mind has wandered. Then bring your attention back to the instant where the in-breath starts. All right. Now we'll close with a short chant. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Peace, peace, peace. All right, any discussion or questions?
Non-striving, I think it's easier once you're retired.
Yes.
And that's something that I've been conscious of and been trying to do for a long time. And yeah, it's a good thing.
Mhm. And I appreciate what you said. Before I retired at the end of my working days, I was with a little software company. And for a while, I was project manager for all their projects. And I found in this case, the attitude of non-attachment, which is related to non-striving, which was something that I was trying to hold to internally. My boss didn't want a non-attached project manager. Anyway, thank you all for joining me. And we will continue this next week. Namaste.
Okay,
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Richard.
Thank you.
goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Adios.
Adios, amigos.
That's right. Adios, amigos.